What's up, guys? Happy Monday, May 5th. Think we'll do mayhem on the bases tonight. Maybe. What's up, Cujo? What up, Ho-Jin? You guys had a good weekend. I just remembered that how the Friday stream ended from the storm, and I just got to notice it's gonna rain again. Hopefully, it's not gonna be as bad, but we had a couple nasty storms last week. That Friday when I think I was here, I was like, guys, I gotta go get my dog. The dog's in the backyard. It's about to open up. As soon as I let her in, it starts pouring. And then I'm explaining that on air, and then boom, no power. And we didn't have power for like 2 hours. That's Texas. Supposed to rain today. It's supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow. Hopefully, doesn't impede what we got going on. What up, Cujo? What up, Ho-Jan? Hope we're doing all right. I have some typing. Got a decent chunk of games tonight. Not crazy, right? It's like 10. We're gonna get them punched into the spreadsheet here. I'm gonna look at Kevin Ross weather report real quick. Cleveland and Washington. Fairly confident in some sort of rain delay or worse. I'm less confident in the specifics of that. We'll like to know before first pitch. All right, I'm back for that. We may get gifted a bit of clearing right around game time, which let us play the game through off and on lighter sprinkle showers. Not fully certain of it, but that's the way model's been. Cool. So we'll keep those two games in mind, and we'll get it going. Work got canceled early because of the rain over there, dude. The weather's been kind of crazy. But the weird thing down here is that it's raining like crazy, or it rains like crazy. Those storms we got last week, those storms don't last that long. Like, it was like 20-30 minutes of God hates you. And then like hours later, it's sunshine and rainbows. So I don't know. I was thinking about it. It's like, would I rather that or all day rain? I don't know. When it rains, my big butt just wants to sleep, dude. And then I'm just no good for nobody. But I don't want to sleep with the power's off. I need some air blown in my face. Gotta have. Got a new recliner the other day. There's a weird quirk about me. I have a pillow top mattress, all this stuff. I sleep on the couch. I got this big old house, and I only sleep on the couch, and I come in this office. Empty bedrooms. Just, I don't know. But I got this recliner the other day. And I've been sleeping on that thing. That sucker's. I put that thing right in front of one of the ACs. Ooh wee! Get them feet up. Like Daisy likes to lay with me, and she can't really do it on the recliner. So the cat's much happier. I liked it. She hops up. We've got the Marlins and the Dodgers. Dodgers with a 5.7 run total. Marlins 4. Dodgers and the Marlins played just last week, and Sandy got smacked. Gave up 7 earnies, a homer, 5 walks, strikeouts. Probably the worst game I can recall ever, really, from Sandy. So a chance to redeem himself here, but I won't be playing that. Holding my breath for that. Ben Kasparius pitching for the Dodgers so far this season, 27% K rate and a pristine 3.5% walk rate. Wow, that really what you want. And then it's a freaking shame to see what's happening to Sandy over there. coming back from a season off, injuries. Thought early on this season that it looked like he was on the right trajectory, and then it's just going backwards. And again, it is the Dodgers. Dodgers can dodger you, but the 5 walks, that's a problem. So far this season, a sub 16% K rate, an almost 11% barrel rate, the almost 20% walk rate to lefties. Nothing here looks great, and this is a dangerous offense. So 5.7 run total against Sandy is just something you got to get behind. And on that slate for the interest ranking, we got to go Dodgers. Maybe Kasparius slides in above, but it's a 2-game slate. Kasparius, we'll put him in the blender. And then we need to do a projection here. Kasparius 7, 8, 16 on Sandy, walk rate 4 and 13. What's up, Andy? Got Freeman to hit a homer of plus 500. Oh, you know what? That's what I meant to do. I guess. All right, we did the add-on. We have to edit some. I do it for pitcher outs, but it hardly ever has all the pitchers, so kind of don't mind doing that. But grabbing home run odds currently saves some time. Yeah, it does. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you have struck out? Eventually start adding all that other stuff, but putting it a little bit tricky. All right. Outs. Why am I on batter props? Bum. Let's do a bend. Can we stretch? How far can we stretch? 0.2 for pitches. I think we'll go back to, what, 13 and a half? That's a shame. I guess since it is a bullpen game, we've kind of seen the Dodgers bullpen give up some stuff. As a matter of fact, this Marlins team didn't have necessarily a bad trip to LA as far as offense goes. So it's a 2-game slate. Everyone's a player, right? And then the other game is gonna be Guardians and Nationals. Boy, this slate's not fun, dude. The top pitcher might be somebody who I can't project for 4 innings. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Mark. Just saving plays. Yeah, that's looking like a problem. You know the Nationals. They gotta make those hot dog sales. So might sit around for a minute. Fairly confident in some sort of rain delay or worse. Less confident this was. Leather wrist. Yeah. Report. Oh, freak. Oh, I forgot those. Yo, Mark with the sub. What the heck? I didn't know we get noties for subs. Bro, I gotta change that. That is so basic. Why'd that scare me? I gotta bring back the Bing Bong, dude. Bing Bong. So, if this game does play, it's Ortiz versus Irvin. Ortiz can get you 1 in 4 Ks, but the Nationals cannot. So this is a really ugly game. Appreciate the sub, Mark. So it would be an offense click here. I think Nationals a little bit more interesting to me. Ortiz weaknesses kind of line up with the National strengths to some degree. Gives them some power to lefties. Can also walk lefties. So look at the top of this top 6 in the projected. It's all lefties or switchies batting lefty. Some power, some walk rates. So we would go Nationals there. Then Irvin, 5+ expected ERA. We go him. Don't really want to play either pitcher. On a 2-game slate, you might have to. This is an all-timer for a 2-game pitching slate. Hopefully it does wash out. You don't have to worry about it. But if you are hunting props, and it all just feels like a yuck. So kind of leave it at that. We don't need to split the Adam. Yeah, we don't need to split Adam researching that. But we do need to put nothing else. Who knows? Like, Irvin. Any life you're doing your own thing now? Yeah, it was kind of weird. I didn't actually leave, but I didn't not leave. It was just like the end of a season. Maybe they're messaging me on Slack. I lost my Slack login. But I was always doing my own thing. They just reached out, and a couple times a week I would go over there. And you know what's funny is like they only ever reached out to me for baseball. And then when football and basketball came along, I was like on the schedule for those shows. And I was like, man, we never talked about that. But luckily I knew like I could do it. But no, those were good times. Those are fun shows. Hopefully me and my boy Terry get together in a week or two. Irvin 1%. Wait, those are not walk. Jesus. What's up, Darnell? Been all right? How we doing, chat? How we living? As you might expect, no outs here. I'm gonna go 15 on both guys just to get a projection. Go from there. Not great. Okay, my Bab. Yeah. We're gonna do a little maintenance right here, guys. I've recently added some in some of the coding here, but I only did it to, it's a bunch of nerdy stuff. I don't know why I'm trying to explain. It's all for a slate. Hey, what? Okay. We'll fix that. We'll do it live. All right, no shock here. Dodgers, Guardians, Nationals, Marlins. How those shake out. This for now. Now, future projections. All right, subscribers, those are up, but you're a psycho if you're playing that slate. I just know you're a psycho playing that slate. The collab with Terry on the Big Friday slate, you guys probably save tons of time alternating teams. My thought is, and he's been busy, the playoffs. I actually think a Friday or excuse me, a Monday or Tuesday is the play. One thing you guys probably know, I yap, he yaps. If we did a 15-game slate, we might finish by next September. So, I don't know. We'd have to start that stream like freaking sunrise. I feel like the play for us is to get between 5 and 8 games. Yo, what up, G Money? Hope you're doing all right. All right, we're done with that early stuff. Fire pit cannabis. Dude, one of these days we gotta do a watch party or something on. I would do a watch party on a Friday slate. That would be fun. That'd be a Friday where I ain't gotta like travel around the state. Been all over the state this week. Dude, my freaking Jeep, dude. I don't know how that thing is still in there, bro. That's why we didn't do weekend shows, by the way. A lot of driving. Also been doing a lot of thinking about this schedule, and I don't know how sustainable as a human being the night and early streams can be. And so I'm kind of thinking to pick a day slot and stick with it, right? Give you the same time every day, which would be likely something like 2 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. I guess sometimes that might come at the expense. I mean, a weekend's got to be different. It has to be. But I don't know, man. Going 11:30 p.m. streams, my time, and then I'm having to turn around, and I'm going all over the freaking state, and I don't know. My real life schedule is a little bit rockier right now, but we did have some extra crap in my life last week. I had to help some family members, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just yapping. But I feel awful when I don't put up a stream one day, and I felt really bad when Friday stream the power got shut off by this freaking storm, and then Saturday and Sunday I just was far too busy to get one going. But it does stick in my craw. Was 75-55 the last hour, so that's a good chance, right? I mean, that's a good thing. Let's go back to the risk. Guys, the music not too loud, yeah? I mean, if this whole series wants to rain out till the Yankees get some better pitching, I wouldn't actually. You figure it out? Yeah. Well, it's not so much me. It's for like y'all. Like, can't expect y'all to be here 11:30 and then 1 p.m. and then, I mean, like, we'll get it though. Well, Padres at the Yankees. First game on the main slate. There is some weather concern here. Mr. Roth notated. Looked like he was a little bit more optimistic about this one getting started versus the Washington game. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Yankees, oh my God, bro. Could you imagine the ticket to see Carrasco and Will Warren? Ugh. Rodon's been good. Max Fried's been good. I'm not all the way in shams here, but Padres are bringing basically the best starting pitching rotation in baseball right now, results-wise, into Yankee Stadium. Really test this offense. Meanwhile, I think if there's a puncher's chance to get one, gotta be on a game where Rodon is bringing his best stuff and backing him up. Should be a fairly rested, good part of the bullpen, right? Weaver should be good to go. Devin Williams, Fernando Cruz. That three is what you want to see. So, like, if Rodon's bringing it, those threes come in. If we can get 6 out of Rodon, go 1-1-1. As long as Devin Williams ain't turning into 9th inning Dylan Betances, we got this. We got this. Nick Pavetta's been really, really good too. So, dude, that is some home cooking on the run line here. They're giving Yankees minus 153 against Pivetta, who's been really gosh dang good. That's kind of wild. But hey, the Padres do low-key suck against lefties. Only Manny Machado, Jose Iglesias have positive WRC pluses, so it's not an insane total here. But the thing with Rodon that scares me is if he's not striking you out, and we got some low K rates here, you might be dipping into some walks. And it's not a ton of high walk rates here, but you can get Machado, Bogarts, and Tatis to walk at over 1 in 10. And those guys can manufacture some. So let's go. And this is kind of a coin flip here. It feels like there's more strikeout upside in Nick Pivetta, yeah? And then we'll go Rodon. But if you want to inverse that, I don't think that's crazy either. And we're probably cherry picking offenses. And these two, if the rain comes and just like F's it all up, these two could get nerfed. So yeah, I'm more into the Yankees as a stack than the Padres based on what I'm looking at, but we'll see how long this lineup is today. Pivetta weaknesses: power to righty so far this season and last year. Hasn't allowed a bomb to lefties yet, but a 48 to 49% fly ball rate. Hard contact really low. The barrel rate's 11%. So maybe getting bailed out by Petco a little bit. Let's see if he would have pitched all his games in Yankee Stadium this year. Wonder if he would have gave up any. Sometimes no, sometimes yeah. Ready 1-1 Cy Young. Yeah, I think if he was in the AL, it would be a lot lower, yeah. I guess this is split it up. Got the same amount of homers allowed though, so no. All right, we'll go off of that. We'll put that as a edit it later, but that's where we're at. A share of the pitchers, weather pending. If I'm not too enthralled with the rest of the stacks on this slate, might come back, add in some Yankees stacks. I'm looking at the slate ahead. It's not a ton of like crazy run total. Like the D-backs are at 5. Royals are at 5. Yeah, there's not a ton of crazy run total, so we might lower our standards. to come back, but put on this weather. 8K subscribers, pretty great considering that you started this without a lot of. Yeah. Well, I mean, I came in with a lot of subscribers. I think I was already at 8K when I started MLB Grind. I just came back. What I'm more proud of is coming back and one, coming back, and then you guys are here with me. But two, when I used to stream for baseball, like these subscribers built on my basketball following and maybe a dab of football, but it's mainly basketball. That's where we grew. So when I come back and you know, I'm not talking much about basketball and I'm doing baseball. When I used to do baseball back in the day, it'd be like 20, 30 viewers on a good day. And there's been times this season where I looked over and we've had, you know, close to 70, and a lot of it's pop-up stream. Yeah. My record for a baseball team is 100 concurrent. That was back in the heyday. I do it. Let's go Reds and Braves. And that's cool to me because you guys know we break down slates every day, and like 20% of the crap we think happens because of the variant. So you gotta have an iron gut to withstand the variance and the failure rate of baseball. And I think in basketball, the instant dopamine of tracking players' points minute by minute, the projections being a lot more accurate. It's a different mindset. Certainly a lot harder for props too. So you gotta be built different to be grinding baseball. But I just love baseball. It's such a beautiful game. I like basketball, don't get me wrong. It's just a grind from a content and tool provider standpoint. So like I put it out there. I don't think you'll see me solo grind a basketball season again. I would be all ears if there was like a team out there that wanted to bring me in and I could, you know, pitch in and do some shows, help out. But man, being the solo dolo guy, running projections, running customer support, running tracking news, that you gotta give up your freaking life. I don't think I have another season of that in me, but I would so be down to collab with maybe a bigger team. We got Reds and the Braves. 4-run total for the Reds, 4.7 for the Braves. Brady Singer taking on AJ Smith-Shawver. Singer, a 26.7% K rate so far this season. Walk rate at 9% to lefties, is almost 10%, 7% to righties. Keeping the ball on the ground against righties. So far struggling to continue his ground ball rate from the last 2 years against lefties. Matter of fact, those splits are kind of dangerous. A 25% line drive rate, 46% fly ball rate, 42% hard contact, and picking up where he left off with homers allowed in a per 9 cents last season. So the Braves power hitters, I mean, I like Ozuna and Riley more, but Matt Olson can get you. And then the K rate to righties pretty good. Actually, K rate pretty good to both sides of the play. So might be showing some interest here in Brady Singer. Inversely, 25% K rate for AJ Smith-Shawver. High whip here, probably because of this 364 average to righties, $1.25 home run per 9, and incredible high walk rate. So he is struggling so far in 19 innings of sample size to get righties out at a high clip. Now, it's not a ton of sample, and I don't think these numbers will last at the big league level one way or the other. Either he's got to get these better or they got to replace him. Curious to see what his BABIP is on a 364 average allowed. My favorite sport for DFS, probably baseball, but the basketball sweat is fun. Don't get me wrong. And the prize pools are up there. But from a behind the curtains thing, man, is baseball much less stressful to cover. There's been times I could be, I mean, maybe today will be an example, but you could have all lineups in, all projections in, nothing's really going to change. I could leave an hour before lock and not have to sweat it. Can't do that in basketball. Basketball, you dang near can't leave after lock. Not dang near, you can't. Late swap is so important in that sport. So I don't mind basketball, but the edge is eroding. And god dang, a 440 BABIP to righties. Holy, 471 xFIP. The edge is eroding, and it's the hardest, I think, when it used to be the easiest for me. Man, he is going through it here. Curious to see what we're looking at. Four-seamer is getting hit up. A 438 expected batting average on his four-seamer. He's already got a 323 batting average. So it's not like he's projecting unlucky. He keeps throwing the fastball the way he's throwing it. And that fastball is down almost 2 miles an hour this year from last year. So that's probably part of the problem. Probably. I think we got 4 pitches so far this season. Last year, he was only throwing 3. And the slider is a new pitch, and that's getting hit up. His whiff pitch is the splitter. Interesting. So I'm somewhat interested in Singer. Go Singer, Braves, Reds. What up, Tall? You're and I want to believe that AJ Smith's not going to be like this. Bringing it back in. 5+ innings, back-to-back starts. Coors and Tampa, those are 2 really tough parks to get away with. What's his LOB? Because his results aren't that bad, but his metrics look terrible. Got like an 80-90% LOB or what? 83%. Okay. All right. All right. Now that's pretty incredible. So he's striking out lefties at a really good clip. He's probably going to go half and half. It's kind of all over the place. I think they're going 4 corners here just because it's only 19 innings of sample size. We don't have a ton to go off of either way. And we know the Reds can go out and get blanked. So we'll do 4 corners. Get caught up on some pitcher projections. Pavetta, 29%. Rodon, 32. Singa, 7. Even that 25 is basically meeting. Already split. Perdomo, 2 bases, plus 210. Naylor, plus 140. Carroll, minus 130. Dude, Corbin Carroll, one of my favorite guys to bet. Think the $15 early slate on Saturday had Myers and a Houston stack. Snap. Dude, was it Saturday? Was it Saturday or Friday night? I was out on the town. Actually, no, I think I was in Dallas. Slate had already been going, and I thought the slate was over, and it was the Tigers' 9th inning. I didn't watch that live, but holy, people literally won tournaments. Like, people who didn't have a shot at winning tournaments were winning tournaments after that 9th inning, and double dong in the same inning. Ridiculous. Yeah, actually, I finished 3rd in a tournament this season. It was a 4-gamer night slate, and it was a slate that involved Antonio Senzatella, and the lineup in front of me had him, and Senzatella had like -3. It feels some kind of way to get beat by a -3 in a pitcher spot, bro. Man, years back, I want to say it was Alex on a Fanduel slate. It was like Fanduel 1 pitcher slate. There was some pitcher that got just imploded. It might have been like Lance McCullers, or it was somebody that finished with deep negatives, and he won on Fanduel with a negative from the pitcher. I don't think I've seen that since. That is quite the story. All right, Pavetta walk rate. On a bit more righty, so we'll go 10%. Went from cash to 6X in those Tigers lineups, dude. But I mean, sweating that live must have been insane. But I mean, if it was me and I was relying on Tiger stacks and they're in the 9th inning, I'm on the couch, bro. We're not sweating that. So then I would have looked down at my phone like, what? I mean, that's sick. That is sick. That walk rate ain't that. So that is kind of fun. That is something baseball can give you that really no other sport can. I guess maybe football could get fluky like that. But in NBA, you kind of know when the 4th quarter starts if you're dead or not. Man, you usually know much sooner than that. But those NBA 4th quarters when you're in it, those are fun too. I've been a couple of those sweats. 17.5. So, yeah, we don't have lines from New York, huh? I'm gonna give them both 16, Rodon and Pavetta, and then we're gonna have to play with that. Finger's gonna be 17.5, and we said 15. Yeah, Angels bullpen. Love stacking against bad bullpen. Bullpens win you tournaments, man. We split hairs on these starters for 4 or 5 innings every day, and then what's winning tournaments? Well, homie going off on the bullpen. So that is one of the reasons we kind of incorporated that into the bomb detector now. Keep moving. Here's a team that's been on a power surge. The Royals. I felt like I kept looking at my phone the other day, and there was another random Royal, and Kyle Isbell, and I want to say like Michael Garcia. They were like screaming as high value home run plays on the bomb detector, and so I felt like a proud dad. Look at my little bomb detector going off. Moving on to the White Sox at the Royals. Yeah, no, that's epic. Yeah, this beat kind of low-key fired. I love beats that can incorporate a good piano or a violin. Garcia got 2, yeah. We'll look at it once we get all these games going, see if there's any potential value. So basically, the bomb detector has been really cool at finding the best long shot value. Because anyone that's likely to homer with a probability of like 18% in the bond detector is already overtaxed, which, you know, that's just the way it is. You're gonna have to pay taxes, but don't see me betting no plus 180s for homers, bro. That's ridiculous. That's just crazy. Run total for the White Sox: 3. Royals 4.7. Cole Reagan's on the bump. Easily your top pitcher on the slate pre-flop. Yeah, 10.3K on DraftKings. Coming in with a 36% K rate this season. Is walking lefties at almost 11% clip, or over 11% clip. Cliff. Jesus. All righties in the projected for the White Sox. So Reagan's, funny enough, strikes out righties at a higher clip than lefties, almost 39%. So I already know that this strikeout model is going to put him at like 8 strikeouts. And it's the White Sox, right? I guess this version doesn't strike out as much to lefties. So it might narrow it down a little bit. But the WRC plus horrendous. The park not great. No real power to get behind. Luis Roberts having an okay, but this is a team that just sucks. Luis Robert, I'm gonna get you out of there. Reagan's gonna be number 1 for me. And don't think I'm playing any Shane Smith. We're gonna go Royal stacks. That's kind of how we do that. Is Shane Smith out of the question? It's just not an upside spot. Royals are never going to strike you out or strike out at a high clip. Not a big strikeout pitcher anyway. I'm leaning no. That's probably what we're going to do. Let's go put a 38% K rate on him. Walk rate, Shane Smith, we're going to give him a 9. Old Reagan's a 9. Well, what kind of outs we're working with? Shane Smith 15.5. Why don't we have a Reagan's line? I'm gonna give him 17.5, but it could be higher. So at 17.5 outs with these K rates matching up, it gives me 7.3 strikeouts. What's the line on him? Probably 7.5. 7? Is that bet down or up? Bet up. 6.5. Let's see what the actual lineup comes out as. If I do any best ball, I haven't. No. No, making MLB grind was kind of a last minute call. I'm gonna say last minute. It's been on my heart for a while, but finally was like, you know what? I made some space. We're effing doing it. I want to grind baseball. So about 2 to 3 weeks before the beginning of the season, I bought the domain, put out a public commitment to hold myself accountable, and developed a spreadsheet, evolved what we into what we got. Now this is my favorite version of the spreadsheet, and there's still so many more ideas now to incorporating prop bet. Astros, Milwaukee. Did Jordan got hurt, right? I saw him come out of a game the other day. They put him on a IL. And almost time for some actual lineups to come. Getting some coffee. Yeah. So far, slate feels kind of iffy. Like sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is the spot for jamming prop bets and correlated offensive onslaughts, but so far this slate's been kind of middling. I guess all of our hitters parks aren't on this slate, and our hitters pitchers. Tobias Myers going to slab for the Brewers. Up against Ronel Blanco. Blanco, 22% K rate. Almost a 15% swing and strike rate. You love the swing and strike rates for Blanco. That's really, really nice. The whip's still elevated. He's walking at a high clip, and he is giving up some power to lefties, and that is probably Christian Yelich, maybe a Jake Bauers territory to tap into. But if you can get by those guys, he's striking out righties at a really good clip, and he's not walking righties as much, and he's keeping them in the park. So do like that to an extent. Does feel like we're gonna have to get outside our comfort zone today on pitching, and Ronel Blanco kind of makes some sense to navigate through these righties. You just got to get around the lefties. Durang typically doesn't bring you a ton of power. Yelich will. Yelich is usually the toughest matchup here. Bauers and Collins. Bauers will strike out at a decent clip. He has only a 9% K rate to lefties. He must not seen like a ton of lefties yet. That seems kind of low. He got scratched now before. He has seen a lot of left. A decent chunk. 5 Ks. He walks. And then inversely, Tobias Myers, 17% K rate this season. Just 7 innings. What are we expecting out of him as far as length? 1, 2, 4. I really don't know. But if that turns into a bullpen game, Brewers bullpen has been not fantastic. They used a lot of their good guys yesterday. Now, bullpen guys can pitch back-to-back days, but you're not going to get Uribe. I don't really see a lot of Megill back-to-backs, so Iamps, Tyler Alexander. Yeah, you might. This guy's leash might be short, and you might turn the ball, turn the game over to some guys that aren't that crazy. You can get into Grant Anderson, Iamps, and Tyler Alexander. You can also get into a little bit of power problems. I would imagine they go into these righties. If we don't have Alvarez, that's going to be a really righty-heavy lineup. So that would make me point at a Piamps. Maybe Elvin Rodriguez. That's kind of got me on some Astros here. The ugly lineup without Jordan. Heavy juice on Myers over 3.5 Ks. I mean, he does strike out righties at a 1-4 clip, and could be all righties outside. I got Carantini as a lefty, so that's not insane. I just don't know what kind of length to give him. I would say best case scenario right now, it feels like 3 innings. What it feels like. Got up to 82 pitches in that San Fran game. I'm not too worried about 11 pitches here. You know, it's a bullpen. So maybe I do give him 13.5 outs. Um, 15.5 for Broncos. Even the sportsbook doesn't give me a solid out. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. As you throw a hissy fit and you got that in the bullpen, what we're doing. But this is baseball. Man. Tell you what, for Tobias, his overall K rate is pretty low, 17%. But he's got some extreme splits. And if we get an Astros lineup with one lefty, I'm not gonna tax him that much. I'm gonna go more to like a 23% K rate. And I don't think it's crazy to go higher if we for sure get no righties or no lefties. Blanco go 12% walk rate. Is that's a 43% walk rate to lefties, brother. And we look at last year's numbers. That's probably more what we should expect. I'm gonna give him an 8, and we'll use that. Did Blanco pitch a perfect game last year, or no hitter? I don't think he pitched a perfect game. I don't know. Perfect game. I feel like I would have. Hitter might have been part of like a team no hitter, like this one. 7 innings, 0 hits, 3 walks. Team no hitters don't count though. Oh, he did no hitter on an opening day. On this opening day, hit a no hitter. Hey, he hit that twice last year. Him. Dude, there'd be some random people throwing no hitters in baseball, bro. Get like Reed Detmers and freaking Domingo Herman. All right, move on. Corey Kluber got him one against the Rangers. Felt like for a while. I want to say there was a couple seasons back where the Mets got no hit twice in a week by like, might have been like Jake Peavy. I can't think of who else. There was a stretch for a while where we were getting them. And in Roop. Don't see a lot of guys going deep these days, but the moment's right. Got a 0 in that hit column. You kind of got to do it. Unless you're Dave Roberts. Won't sit you. We got the Cubs hosting the Giants. 3.4 run total for the Giants. Cubs at a 4.3. Roop put a 26% K rate so far this season. Striking out lefties at a much lower clip. 13% walk rate. Ball on the ground. Hard contact low against those lefties. So that's good. This Cubs team is so good. A really great offense, but we got temps in the 50s and the wind's blowing in, not out. So no like super boost here, but I don't think that takes the Cubs out of the blender for me. I do think Roop allows a high enough batting average to both sides of the plate that I'll take the Cubs, especially on this slate where the pool is kind of shallow for as the run total teams go. This is a death by paper cut lineup as well. I mean, we know him for power, but Pete Crow, Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, really the whole lineup. If you look at stolen bases on the season, the Cubs are number 1. Like they'll go out there and get you some fantasy points one way or the other. I'm gonna get some Cubs exposure for sure. And they also walk at a high clip. and we've seen a high enough walk rate for Roop and decent enough against righties, but we can also tap into that average allowed. So I'm definitely there on the Cubs from a slate that doesn't look like it's going to give us a ton of 5.7, 6-run total, stuff like that. So give me Cubs. Then Matthew Boyd, 1.4 whip so far this season overall. Elevated average to lefties. Don't know if that's going to hold up, but the line drive rate's elevated. Ground ball rate's low. Barrel rate's really low, 4%. So. I don't know how we spin that. Are some Ks in this lineup? We tip a 1 in 5 K rate. Maybe we'll look at his if got some room for forward. Righties throwing that 4-seamer a lot. 19% whiff, not too bad for a slider. Righties 36% whiff. But the batting average looks like it should go down for the slider. Same with the changeup. I think I get it on Boyd, but that's not to say the Giants don't have some bats that scare me against lefties. Elliot Ramos, Chappie. What happened to Fitzgerald? Is he hurt? He's like their oh yeah, he's hurt. Okay. Yeah, he's like their lefty, the new Wilmer Flores. Let's do that. I think the 1 in 4 K rate for Roop on this slate. Get him in the blender. Then we go Giants. We're going full scumdacker, 4 corners. That's how we shake that out. Oh, 25% K rate. Walk rate. In. Kind of hungry. I'm all out of shakes. So after this, I might have to go hit up the Smoothie King. Outs. I'd get it delivered, man, but end up paying $20 for a smoothie. Seems like overkill. I have to put out our own numbers. So 15.5. I think 15's fixed. Might be Boyd. Might be undercutting them. I'll stick with that for now. Yeah, the Cubs are nasty, dude. Like every time I look up, P. Crow Armstrong and Dansby Swanson are going back to back. Every time I look up, I try to look down if I don't have them. Moving down. All right, 3 games left on the docket. Dad, if you're stumbling across this video on YouTube, you don't know who I am, you don't know what we're doing. We are filling out the premium spreadsheet. A spreadsheet that when we're done will give us projections for the pitchers, DFS projections. It will give us home run projections and all that good stuff. And it's also just a really good way to expedite your daily research process anyway, getting into these games. If you're in a pinch for time, you know how we do it. We use the advanced metrics and make it make sense, right? Throwing you pretty easy to process if you're new to baseball, and the right way to research. Green means good, bad means bad. It's pretty simple to pick up if you're trying to transition here from basketball. So come check that out. You can go to MLBgrind.com. Get yourself a premium membership. There's week passes, month pass, and you can lock in for the rest of the season. You'll get access to the sheet. You also get access to the Discord, which it's a lot of silent but deadly nerds. But you'll catch me, Jake, Rich, and I'm always here to answer some questions if you tag me. But just kind of a sweat zone. And then when I do go crazy on like PrizePicks, there's days where I'll throw like 20 slips. I'll post whatever I'm running there just for the heck of it. No rules against it. So you guys, I wish I could bet everything I bet 1-to-1 on a sports book, but I do live in Texas, so I can't. I just kind of go crazy on the PrizePicks, and the goal is really just to cash 2 out of 20, and it's profitable. Profitable. Yeah, I don't know if today's going to be a day like that though, because these games are kind of hard to read and go any which way. But MLBgrind.com, good way to support the stream, support the site, and get a little something in return. Let's move on to the next game. We are getting some lineups out. Mets. Now we're getting deep into the night. We go from a. Oh, I skipped the Pirates game. Pirates going into Busch Stadium. Contact pitcher on the bump in Miles Michaelis. For the Pirates, we'll be pitching Carmen Mlodzinski. So, the park might negate a lot of our puppy eyes here. As far as offense goes, I think he'll pick on some hittable pitchers. Feels kind of weird to pay $6K for O'Neal Cruz and Bush, but I don't think we really sweat pricing ever, especially tonight, because it doesn't. I mean, yeah, we're gonna go up and pay for Reagan's, but your SP2 tonight's likely gonna be somebody that's not breaking the bank. You could splurge a little bit elsewhere. So if that means going to grab a 6K O'Neal Cruz, if it did, do it. Miles Michaelis this season, a 4.21 expected ERA. Mlodzinski, a 5.07 expected ERA. 4.6 run total for the Cardinals. 4.1 for Pirates. So off the rip, we're definitely more interested in the hitters than the pitchers. This 1.81 whip for Mlodzinski is kind of crazy. 300 plus average allowed to both sides of the plate, with 11% walk rate to righties to boot. Ground ball rate's pretty low. The hard contact rate at 30%. He's not allowing a lot of power as you might expect with those numbers. Sub 7% barrel rate, but it's also not like a numbers that I'm running from. So Lars Nootbaar kind of stands out to me. If you're not gonna be competitive and you're gonna dare him, I think he's got a chance. Put up a good game here. Really, no one in this game, I think, based on these pitchers, there's really no one I wouldn't get to. Inversely, you're looking at Michaelis. He hasn't allowed a homer yet. Certainly feels like a matter of time, especially with these this batted ball data. 28% line drive rate, 34% hard contact rate, 9% barrel rate. Feels like, maybe a park thing, but also maybe a little bit of luck. So it wouldn't get me off of this 209 ISO against righty system beginning of last year on O'Neal Cruz. And even with Jesus, I gotta change. Obina, appreciate the sub. I'm so freaking. The Pirates. Let's look at that stolen base thing. Pittsburgh's pretty aggressive on the bases too. Now you do expect teams that suck to steal more, and this might come down to a slate where you might paper cut your way into a stretched out lineup as far as offensive fantasy production. So I think I can get behind some Pittsburgh. Yeah, I gotta maybe fix that. I don't know it did that for just subscribers. Not just, I appreciate the sub, but I thought it was just for like super chats. My bad. We're all awake. We'll just make sure we're all paying attention. Go offenses here. I really don't have a reason to get to either pitcher. You're driving and you're typing in a YouTube chat? Jay. Don't. Maybe don't. Unless he's got voice to text. Yeah. This park might bail him out. But I tell you what, lefties could hit for power in Busch Stadium, you know, almost on average. So I'm not too dampened by that. 14%. $17.5 outs for Michaelis. 14.5. Double dipping, working, and trying to get the info from you, man. I ain't mad at you, bro. Mad at you. That's the beauty of DFS, man. It could be everyone's escape throughout the day. I used to when I was training to wrestle in Philadelphia. Not training. I had already been trained, but I was getting more knowledge in Philadelphia, and I was managing a Sonic drive-in in a place called Feasterville, Philadelphia. Anybody ever heard of that? And my cooks, man, all they would dream of. There was a casino there, the Parks Casino. It was, you know, down the street a little bit. All they would talk about all day is their parlays. And this is before I really fell in love with I mean, this was so much before DFS. Heck, I don't even know if Fanduel and DraftKings were running at this time, but they were just literally going to the casino, getting some hand parlays and stuff like that. I mean, this is 2010. And I was just like, you know what, man? Let's get him through the day. So I thought that was cool. Although I also thought, like, what's your celebration if you are grinding a 9 to 5 like that? I gotta say dead end job, but you know, not gonna gear up from a line cook or whatever to whatever. You just quit, right? So I feel like a good, like, you kind of rooting against it. Yeah, man, good luck. But if you win 150K or whatever, probably. If you're cool. If you getting them out of there. 4.8 run total on the Mets, 5 for the D-backs. What up, Pinstripe? What up, Heath? So I comment on the Colorado. Nah, I appreciate that, Pinstripe. That's pretty cool, man. You guys taking me along for the ride. It's awesome. I remember for basketball, we would have a bunch of people that told me that they would listen to me picking up the kids from school. And figured that worked out because I'm pretty family friendly as far as the words that I use. And I know not every show brings that same. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Heath. There was a little family. I don't know, call it a tragedy, incident, whatever. But working through it. I stay pretty solo dolo out in the free world. But you guys still gotta be there for family at times, and that was a little extra on my plate last week. So I appreciate everybody's patience and good thoughts. But we through it. Hopefully. And we're probably not through it, but we're at a stable point. Mets and the D-backs, Griffin Canning versus Ryan Nelson. So Ryan Nelson, a stretch out starter? like yes but no, right? Interesting. All right. Also, hold it. Fifth, like roof open out there in Arizona. Roof projected open, but it's actually kind of cool out there. It's cool here too. 65 degrees, so it does give you some more breezy, but it's not like it's 80 to 90 degree Phoenix temperature. So yeah, same pinstripe. I don't know. I'm wired different, bro. I don't like a lot of stuff that most people like. I don't like drama. I don't like gossip. I don't like hating on people, dude. Just a big old jolly guy that loves to play video games and entertain crowds on the weekend, you know? It's literally that simple. Like I'm about as simple as they come. 2.61 ERA for Griffin Canning versus almost 4 expected ERA. His righty splits certainly serve some power to right-handed hitting. My favorite D-backs hitters are lefties. Did get Ketel Marte back, but Carroll, Marte, and Pavin Smith, those are 3 I really want to justify playing here. So, looking at his batted ball data this year versus last year, because last year that 167 home run per 9, that's what I want today. It looks like he increased his ground ball rate. He's lowered his barrel rate to an extent. Cool. Go back to that stolen base list. Arizona is 9th. Arizona is kind of like the Cubs for me, where they can paper cut you, but they can also hit for power. I mean, this lane of 200 plus ISO against righties since the beginning of last year, that's sexy. We're going to go D-backs, but we're also going to go Mets as our interest here. Inversely, Ryan Nelson can allow some power to lefties. Lindor, Soto, Nimmo to an extent, tap into that. And then you get into this D-backs bullpen quicker than you usually would likely, with Nelson not being a true stretched out starter. Maybe you get 4, 5. Maybe you get 5. He did go 4 against this same team a week ago. With 2 walks. What else? Games. Any 4 xFIP in that game, even though he allowed no earnings. 2 walks. Didn't give up a hit. Must have been 0. That's probably not. Interesting. I don't think I can play Ryan Nelson there. Innings, there's pitching is kind of shallow, but I don't think I can do it. I guess just not enough right here. So give me the offenses here. Griffin Canning against the D-backs. Doesn't feel fun to me. He missed that D-backs series last week. I think you have to put him in a pool just based on guys that could give you 15 to 20, but I don't love it. But I think he has to be in the player pool. You're not gonna play a lot of them. This is a sub 20% aggregate K rate, one of the highest run totals on the slate. So you don't have to give up much of your portfolio to be there. But I think there's obviously a above 0 range of outcomes where it gives you a usable 7,200. On 9K on Fanduel, no, but on DK, yeah. I don't know. I see even live for QS over there. Got new 6 innings once. So I don't think I touch him on Fanduel at that price, and that's matchup with less than likely chance of US. But from a SP2 standpoint, if you didn't die, and you probably get some positive leverage theoretically versus what's likely to be one of the higher owned stacks because of their run total, you could make that dog hunt. Yeah. Did you see the Pedro versus 100 Zimmers? I did not, but I can only imagine how that goes. Yeah, Heath definitely always got family's back. Dude, I get friends' backs too. Let's pull out a projection here. Manning 23. Ryan at 27, but I think the inning projection is gonna it's just hard to see Ryan being able to pick up the win. I guess the win points and all that doesn't really matter as much on DK. Certainly not in the blender for FanDuel. DraftKings is like a hard maybe though, but I don't know. It's the high risk, low reward. %. Great. And a half for Manning. I'm gonna go 13.5 for Elson. Then we'll get to the last game. After this game, I can go back, update some lineups, and if we'll start opening the projection tabs and everything for all the subscribers, so you guys can get to feeding. But I'm certainly got the floor open. I'm in no particular rush. A little hungry. I might have to go grab a protein shake or something. Could be a feedback after. Might stay in the house tonight and do some video editing if brain curious. I go get a car wash and a protein shake. You lent liquor. Main event tonight, the Mariners, and boy, what a stretch they're putting together against the Athletics. Kind of a low run total. Oh, this is gonna kill me, dude. I love Severino the person, but man, is he rough to get behind under the hood. 4.21 expected ERA for Severino, 18% K rate. This ballpark, oh yeah, we're about to be Mariners heavy tonight. Mariners, top of the interest list. Bryce Miller, 24% K rate for him. The whip is pretty pristine, or excuse me, the home run per nine pretty pristine against righties. Hasn't allowed a homer to a lefty yet either. Crazy walk rate. Barrel rate is sub 4%. So being able to miss the sweet spot is really what's keeping him afloat. Because it's not really that remarkable at everything else, right? 265 average allowed to righties. Walking both sides pretty high. Ground ball rate against righties is almost, 20% less than it was last year. Kind of getting by. And you feel like what's working for him is the fact that he is missing a big part of the bat. This Athletics team has seemed to lost a little bit of steam, but I still kind of believe in him, especially in this park though. So I'm gonna go, I think we're going three corners here. We're gonna go Mariners, Athletics, Bryce Miller, but I'm not in love. And then I can't get behind Sever. Yo, man, I want to. That's my boy, but can't. So that's how we're gonna shake that out. So Bryce Miller, let's go run his protection. So 18% on Sevy. Bryce Miller, Walker, 8. Oh, 17.5. 17.5 is kind of high too. You lick, or what if I kill you? All right, Crease, take care, bro. Athletics bullpen outside of Mason Miller. Not running from, yeah. Keep looking for Oakland. But he threw 28 pitches the other day. You know, loss and blown saves. You played the $5 with bigger field, the same compared to the 15-18 with lower field? No, you shouldn't. Usually the $15 to $18, the higher the entry, typically means the smarter the players are that you're going against. Like, you ever get some time on DraftKings, you can view live contests. You can view like the ownership in like the $1,000 stuff, like the higher price stuff versus the lower stuff. It's kind of insane, and that's just, you know, big boys know what they're doing. The micro stakes people kind of don't. But no, if you're using a sim tool, I guess most of them have it built in to where you offer up that information. I do have the stochastic sim tool. And if you guys want to try this, there's a link in the description below. But the stochastic sim tool also kind of asks for that information, right? Because not only the player field, but the percentage of payout to the top matters too. So it'll ask you pool size, and then after you sim it, it'll ask like percentage of payout to first, seconds, all that stuff. So all that does matter. And if you're using a sim tool, to be inputting that information, because you gotta risk it for the biscuit in some of these contests without flat payouts, and that's most of them. But you do typically get softer competition overall at the low levels, and a lot of times, maybe not baseball since it's so much variance, but a lot of times the rake is paid because of bad plays. Like I talked about a tournament I finished third in earlier this season on a 4-game late slate. Antonio Senzatella on that slate. Now I know the lineup in front of me had him, but he was 16% owned. And if your average rake is 18 to 20, and I thought he was a terrible play. He was against the Dodgers. You can kind of be like, oh man, that covered rake. And that was like it was just a mini max, right? And you guys know on DraftKings they got those community steps, like if it's less than $5 and less than 25k prize pool, sharks aren't allowed to swim around. So that's where you really never knew you could view live contests you're not in on DraftKings. Yes. And you can download CSVs from them and kind of study the ownerships and the good players that you want to. On the track. And then, you know, if you have your own ownerships, you kind of have some self-confidence, self-esteem. You can go look at the big ones and kind of see what the smart guys are running as far as their ownerships, but they're also not running 150 lineups in $1,000 entry. So I think like what's most valuable to do is kind of look at your single entry lineups versus those, and kind of go from there. Because the process is so much different. You'll also see that first place in those tournaments, the top score is a lot lower than the micro stakes, but that's because you gotta have some crazy luck. How do you see the ownership of a contest you're not in? You just, on DraftKings, you can just view the live contest. You could also, there used to be, I don't know, I assume it still exists, but there used to be some sites that would provide that information retroactively. So there's nothing live, right? And maybe if you guys are on your phone, it'd be a little bit harder for me to. But you see right here, this little green, this view live contest. There's nothing live right now, but you just click on that on your desktop, and then this enter button will turn into a button that says watch, and you click on that. So based on whatever contest you want to look at. This one's crazy. $111 for 3,500. You can track that. You just click view live contest. All right, I'm on Mariners, some Athletics, some Bryce. So we are done with our pitcher projections. I didn't give any quality start points to anyone, but I'll probably go give some to Reagans. We'll give them 3. Kind of all. So I'm gonna go back and we're gonna open up the projections for subscribers, and then we're gonna go update some lineup. No surprise here. Reagans ended up on top, then Singer, Miller. Yeah, Bryce Miller does come in third. God dang it. I gotta change that. Sorry, guys. Open up our stack rating. So take out Dodgers, Marlins, Linda, Arizona, the Yankees, the Mets, Athletics. Dude, Seattle is much lower than I want them to be, but I get it. My little Cinderella. All right, so we got projections. We got let's open up the bomb detector. Sorted. Appreciate that follow or that sub, Sesk Monte. Ohtani has a 5 on the bomb detector. That's kind of crazy. And if you guys haven't noticed lately, I've tweeted about me. In the last couple of weeks, we've evolved. It used to just be the bomb rating, but we've also added a probability, converting this bomb rating into a home run probability. And then with that probability showing you what the spreadsheets would say is fair odds in terms of probability to homer. And then we've added market representation of a live line. And we're using the Fanduel market. So you'll see a lot of the guys that are at the top, you're actually overpaying for them to homer. So like if you took Ohtani to homer tonight, got him at homering at almost 1 in 5, which is insane anyway, but that's a 400 fair odd. where you're paying 255, so you get taxed on it. So I wouldn't recommend shopping the Aaron Judge, the Ohtani homers, stuff like that. But what this has done has shown us some mid-range to long shot value. So I can sort this tab from greatest to least and kind of see if any names stick out. Now, I'm not going to bet every name that just dry shows like it's super valuable, but I do like seeing guys that are maybe batting top 4 in a good spot, decent run total. So like they show us Xavier Edwards as a top value, as far as what you can bet versus what the fair odds would be. So we got him at a 13% chance of homering. Fanduel is giving you plus 2,000, and it's against what, Kasperius. So fun to get like maximum at bats to have a puncher's chance, but obviously he's not a power hitter. So these are not like bets I would expect to hit at a high clip, but over the long term, the spreadsheet says you're getting a deal here versus what's priced. Anybody else here that might be intriguing? Usurai, no. The White Sox projected leadoff guy, Stephen Kwan, getting some value here. So basically, I look for green in the order number and green in the value number. Also, if you can dip into guys with over a 4 bomb rating, so like the 16% probability, so let's do that. Let's go bomb rating at, just put everybody above 4. DJ Friedel, maybe Austin Wells, and Fordo. These guys have a little bit of implied value versus what the spreadsheet thinks so and what the market says. So, you know, not a get rich quick scheme stretch, but that's how you use it if you are shopping props and homers. Stop betting Aaron Judge and Ohtani to homer. Bad bet. Just because they do it, don't make it a good bet. Just is the lesson. All right, so we can close this. We do got. I think we need to be. I guess we open up our DFS projection. I always take the pictures out here. You guys know we have the picture projections in a separate tab. You want to copy and paste the spreadsheet projections to a CSV. You're there. Ready to go. Any questions, comments, concerns, chat? Anything you want to look at? Good time for that. Projections up. Anything else we need to open? We got stack ratings up. Nope. All right, so we're gonna get some lineups confirmed. So that early 2-game slate is fully confirmed. Lock that one up. We are still waiting on impending weather. Eric Wagaman. By the way, the bomb detector, it isn't just the starter anymore. We have created a formula that does consider the bullpen and how many at bats versus the bullpen we're likely to get. That's a fun little adjustment. Guardians throwing Steeman second if that game did play. Interesting change. Confirm that lineup. We'll see if has Mr. Ross said anything different about this game. Nationals, Abrams, all that Sackett, James Wood. So Wow, this comes out really lefty. Oh, those lefty splits. It isn't that bad of a... Not that scary. He does strike out lefties pretty high this year, but we'll see if that holds up. All right, so early state's locked up. Just gotta keep an eye on that weather. You got Padres and Yankees lineups. There's sim to this fairly cheap out there for a person that builds one lineup. I feel like getting a sim tool is more for some. Yeah, I would highly. I think if you're running one lineup, dude, you can do that by hand. Sim tool, definitely. I mean, you can use it to run one lineup or 3 lineups or 20 lineups, sure. But I think the real value in running 50, 100, 50. Are confirmed Padres. Or what you would do with that is you would sim, basically you sim the slate and it will show you all these lineups based on that simulation, pitch by pitch simulation, inning by inning, and then you just pick the top lineup, the top ROI lineup, or at least the top one that you like. So you wouldn't run it to necessarily get one lineup. You would see all the lineups, and then you would select the one at the top that makes sense. We're going to the Korean barbecue place or not? I think it's gonna open soon. Dude, my town has so many steakhouses, and we got a new Brazilian steakhouse that opened up. And I barely go to the main side. I feel like steak, if you think about it, steak is so easy to cook at home the way you want. And steaks aren't that expensive, at least not in my time. I'd probably go get a good steak from the grocery store, somewhere between 10 and 20 bucks, probably 10 bucks, closer to 10. But if you go out to a restaurant, have some guy put it on the grill for minutes, you're gonna pay 30, 40, 50 bucks. Steak is kind of a scam. So no. But I definitely am willing to try something. I always hear about Korean barbecue, but it's just like, man, freaking Texas, bro. This is barbecue. It's not one thing we need an improvement on. Cows everywhere, yeah. That my steak preference though, it loses me a lot of friends. It's hard to say this. I don't know if is this a safe place? Can I tell you guys that I like my steak medium well, and sometimes I'll dip it in ketchup. Can I say that and not get judged? Some people are like, "No, I like mine still pink. Just put it on there for a second, sear the fat, and then I'll eat it." Well, you might as well just bite out of that cow, stand on the side of the road, bro. What you doing? I don't know. Medium well. Medium well. Kind of learned in life, you don't talk politics, religion, or how you like your steak with your friends. See? See what I'm saying? And maybe I got introduced to steak the wrong way. But that's how I do it, man. I don't know. Guess I haven't never tried a rare steak. But it doesn't, it's mentally, I don't get it. You're telling me you want this thing undercooked on purpose? Yeah? You half Korean, never tried it? I want to see what the big deal is about. I always hear about it. Ribeye and Worcestershire. We put ketchup on fried chicken. Dude, I haven't had fried chicken in forever. I almost went for some chicken tenders last night. All right, looks like I got all of the lineups up. 2 more lineups just dropped. All right, cool. We can get Pittsburgh in. I haven't had fried chicken in a while. Might be time. And all this food talk, y'all gotta make me F up, dude. White Sox lineup as projected. No A1 and right to the catch-up. Dude, A1 is this. Dude, come on. We're being real right now. What does A1 even taste like? Like, I know what it tastes like, but it's just like, what? Give me ketchup, bro. What is this? It's like the true self-respecting Cowboys around here, though. They don't dip their steak in nothing. If you gotta dip your steak in sauce, throw the steak away. Like, it's bad steak. You just eat the meat, which I don't hate. My Pirates lineup. Where'd it go? Hello? Am I blind? There it is. Oh, Thunder in. My sign to go get Daisy. Alright, we made it to a stream without the power going out, so that's cool. I don't know. I used to have a Hank Hill. I got it in me no more. Got the lineup that the White Sox. A1's better than Heinz 57. Thus. Is that a guess, or are you speaking in hindsight? Dad, I'm hearing some thunder crackling outside, so I need to go get the dog. Make sure we're ready. I don't think it's going to be that bad of a storm. Dude, my favorite Hank Hill moment ever. It is... I don't know if I can find it. Hank Hill walks in on Bobby ironing a cheerleading suit. And he's just so mortified. And he goes, "Bah! There better be a naked cheerleader under your bed." Like he was ashamed. I don't think I can find it. Bobby was, I guess, doing some home ec. He was like, "There better be a naked cheerleader under your bed." All right, twitter.com/gundecker. You got anything else for me? Otherwise, go to MLBgrind.com. Get yourself a sub, man. Week pass, month pass, season pass. Get locked in. Have some fun. Be back tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow, weather permitting, tomorrow, I think we should do another 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central stream tomorrow. Bigger slate tomorrow. But I did see that we're going to have some rain tomorrow. I normally don't get power outages, man, but the other day it smacked me. It looks like this storm tomorrow is going to be about the time that I need to be on the air. Hopefully it's not too crazy. Assuming we got power. Pretty much. Central. Mahomes eats ketchup on a steak. I thought he was the only one. Dude, I like ketchup. If you put ketchup on a burger, what's the difference? Think about it. Appreciate y'all chat. Hey, tell somebody you love them. I love you. Good luck. God bless. Win some money.